Okay, from this side you can see the 30 degrees. The sun, because of the way the sun is, basically doing the same thing. But by having both sides exposed, I don't have to spin anything around. It's really handy. You got to do both directions. See the 30 degree run there? The sun's showing it. And tap your file every once in a while. Turn it so it doesn't wear out in one spot. 30 degrees, and then you want to be like this. This is this is a square. You don't want to be going down or up really. You can do it once in a while if you have to get the throat down a little lower. The gullet, they call it. But you can't do it with the file guide on anyway. But you still should stay perpendicular to the guide bar. Like I said, I'm just touching this up. I ran 1 tank of gas, cut 1 tree. It is in Southern California the coastal live oak, which is a pretty good firewood. It's what people prefer. I mean, they don't want to burn pine. The price of energy is prohibitive. Shit, I went all electric. I went electric because I got tired of burning in the stove. But my electric bill is $450 a month. That's about half my Social Security check almost. So, but it is what it is. Mostly people that are trying to save money that buy firewood, or their house isn't equipped with anything else. Even though it makes smoke, environmentally they're going to probably stop even wood burning eventually, but they better have something better. Electricity still being it's natural gas, so is that a good trade-off? I mean, they got natural gas plants down there near San Diego City that make the power, but they're burning a fossil fuel and then charging you up to 50 cents a kilowatt hour, depending on what time of the day you're using it. But SDG&E is making bank. It's a monopoly. If they start a fire and have to pay, they make it up in no time by charging the consumers, because they got everybody in the area. Unless you're off the grid, or solar is a good way to go. I'm just trying to figure out how to put it in. I'm not the owner of this property, but I still think it would pencil out to bootleg it in. I don't want to go through SDG&E, have them tinker around my wiring system and everything else. But it has to be a way to mitigate the cost of electricity out here. Okay, I'm all the way back to the brass. It didn't take long to get around on this side. People have a dominant side supposedly, but I feel good on either side. I'm not sure why. I'm partially ambidextrous. Well, anyway, that's done. All I need to do is, well, you can check the rakers. It depends on how the depth gauges. Depends on, you don't have to do it every time. Every 3 or 4 times even. You just take a flat file. This one here, I have different types of depth gauges, but this one here is 25. I would prefer 30. It takes more 25. It's the difference between the height of the cutter and the depth gauge, which is sometimes called the rakers. That's your depth gauge, cutter. The distance between the top. You see the top of the cutter and the depth gauge. There's a gap, and there should be. Now, see, there isn't much of one on this one here. See, that's why you got to. The further you cut the tooth down in relation to the depth gauge, the lower it goes. And you can tell by rake. You see, you go with your flat file like this. If it hangs up, then it means it has to be filed. And that one is definitely hanging up. That's a fairly soft metal because it comes down. You don't have to hit it very many times. Okay, so if that one needed it, chances are one of these other ones might need it. You go like this, you barely touch, but it did touch. And yeah, we're talking, I don't know about thousands, but it's not a whole. It's probably in the, I don't know, the hundredths of an inch. This is the 30 dick. Yeah, see? This is the 30. It's going all the way back. You gotta cover. It's gotta sit on two cutters in order to be. That 25 works better, but I would rather have a 30, and that's what this is. I must have used. It's been a while since I did the depth gauges on this because it's getting a little off them. It's not very much, but it's enough to make a difference, and it also makes the thing run smooth. Shit, I can't. How's that keep going down? Me putting downward pressure on it, I guess. Anyway, you should go all the way around with the depth gauge.